What's up everyone, Son Goku here, and today I'll be showcasing you my Voiceless voice deck profile. Um, I played in one tournament at my locals with it, and I'm surprised I even got top 3. Albeit there was only like a handful of players there at the time. There's about, 10, 15 players there. Um, I more or less went undefeated, but then somebody decided to play Bustials against me, so it didn't quite work out on that particular one. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. So, without further ado, I'll explain each card as I go along. That is not standard, and it's just more or less what I've thought to add, and it's done pretty well. So to start off with, we have one Trias hierarchy. This works with the Diviner. One Seravis, Dragon Sage of the Voiceless Voice. This is my idea. 3 Cashier Fenrir, kind of baits an Ash Blossom, to be honest. Well, most people don't actually fall for the bait, but it's happened. You summon Fenrir, they carry on with your combos, etc., etc. Then you have 3 Saphira Dragon Queen of the Voiceless Voice. This card gets you to your ritual spell and ritual monster as quickly as possible because you can banish her from the graveyard and she's practically a ritual card. So we have 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, nothing to be said about her. 3 Diviner. I've only got 3 cards in this deck that I could send off. I think that's more or less the Diviner package anyway. Which consists of the Trias, the Herald of the Arclight, and Nuts. Then 3 low. The card some of you seem to be adding to the deck, which is Odd Eye's Pendulum Graph. Good for the spell negate, and there's another effect that people I think have been sleeping on, and that's the special summon effect of an Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck, which as it negates gets moved back to the Pendulum Zone. If you negate the effect, let's try and see if I can bring it up. Hang on. Pendulum Graph. Pendulum Graph Dragon. So, once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell, card, or quick effect, you can place this card in your Pendulum Zone. If you do, negate that effect. If you place this ritual summoned card in the Pendulum Zone, you can special summon 1 Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck. Now, this particular move's won me games. I'm not gonna lie. Because people think because of this nobody's really running any Odd Eye stuff in the extra deck. How wrong they were when they faced me. So yeah, what I've got is I've got the Odd Eyes Winged Dragon, which is a walking monster negate, but it's an ignition effect, which is a bit sad, to be honest. Beggars can't be choosers. Then I have 3 Seravis. I tried it too. I wanted to see it in my hand more often than I wanted, and it's performed quite well at 3. Because what it does is when your opponent targets any of your monsters with a card effect, you can send Seravis to the graveyard, and then you can just negate it. Then I have 2 Skull Guardian, Protector of the Voiceless Voice, and that's it for the monsters. Then for the spells, I have 1 for 1. This card gets you to your low. Then pre-prep. This card gets you to your Ritual Spell and Seravis as quickly as possible, which is nice. Then we have 3 Pot of Prosperity, 2 Prayers of the Voiceless Voice, the Ritual Spell. What I didn't realise at one point, until it automatically prompted me in EDO Pro, is if a face-up light ritual monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, except during the damage step, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summons 1 Seravis, the Ancient Ascended, Saphira, Queen of Dragons, or another Skull Guardian from your hand or deck, ignoring summoning conditions. Sometimes people have gone, oh, I'm going to nuke your board, and the next thing I'm like, haha, I'll play this. I'll trigger the ritual spell in my grave, bring back the Skull Guardian, then revive the low. Then the low brings barrier to the field, and then I'm protected again. Which wasn't, my opponent wasn't very happy with it when I actually did this scenario I was in. I'd already negated an effect with Skull Guardian, so I didn't have any more negates. So they proceeded to place a Dark Hole on the field for some reason, which destroyed everything on every monster on my side. And then for some reason they managed to hard open the Harpy's Feather Duster, of which they destroyed my back row as well. So I was able to revive back my Skull Guardian with the Ritual Spell, and then because Low was in the grave and a light ritual monster was special summoned, I was able to bring Low back to the field and then place another barrier from my deck to my field. And then my opponent just instantly scooped with that, which they thought they had a one up on me. So then we have the standard Call by the Grave. I used to play what do you call it now? Cross out Designator. It ended up being more of a brick than anything, so I just took it out for more small stuff. Then I have 3 Barrier of the Voiceless Voice, 3 Infinite Impermanence, and 1 Radiance of the Voiceless Voice. There's 40 cards. And then I have in the extra deck 1 Guilty Gearfried, and 1 Guarara, and 1 Mud Dragon for the Super Poly targets. Then the Elder Entity Nuts, one of the targets for Diviner. Chaos Angel. You can make Chaos Angel in this deck because of the main fact that either you can hard summon Ash Blossom with Fenrir, or the line I went down was with Trius and Novox. Granted, excuse me, I'm yawning all over the place. Granted, it only gives my Chaos Angel immunity by monsters by unaffected by monster effects activated by my opponent. You still manage to get a banish off the field. Then 1 Odd Eyes Winged Dragon. This is for the Pendulum Graph. What this card does is obviously if it's in the monster card zone, destroy, place it in the Pendulum zone. What it does is you're only most scared by this first effect here. Once per turn, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of the turn. It's highly unlikely that you're going to be synchro summoning it. So if it ever gets to go into the back row in the Pendulum zone, the Pendulum effect reads, once per turn, before damage calculation, if your monster battles an opponent's monster, you can make your monster as a gain attack equal to the opponent's monster's attack until the end of the damage step, which is practically a walking honest. So we have the Sky Crisis. What's to be said about that? Absolute Dragon. This also gets you to your Odd Eyes Winged Dragon. It's basically Utopia. But if this Exceed Summons card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck. So if you link summon it or whatever, you can literally just get a free Odd Eyes Winged Dragon that's higher attack than Odd Eyes Absolute. And then this was funny. Red Eyes Flare Metal. You're running a number of level 7 monsters. You even got the Cashier Fenrir, which will add to your rank 7 pile. You just sit on Flare Metal Dragon with a negate from the Skull Guardian, and every time your opponent activates anything, your opponent just getting burnt for 500. That's my little tech in there. And then 2 Dynamondo, sorry, that's TCG name. Looking at the top of the card again. This card brings, if you don't open the trap, you can link summon Dynamondo with the Skull Guardian and Low. So on your opponent's draw phase, you can bring back the Skull Guardian, and then the Low will revive itself, and then placing back down the Radiance. And then 1 Dark, because most people are playing Dark these days. You can go into a Link Hero and then into that, and then SP Little Knight, and then Link Hero. For the side deck, a lot of people were playing monster spamming decks with Link monsters and such like that. So I even faced off Sky Strikers. So Phantasme was pretty nice with that. So we've got 3 Nibiru, 3 Phantasme. In theory, you can play this against Snake Eyes, because when your opponent link summons, the Promethean Princess, you can summon Phantasme and you can get a +4 draw. And then shuffle cards from your hand into the deck equal to the number of link monsters they control, so you only be more or less shuffling back 1 card, but you've basically +3'd. Gain 3 cards off this, so you hoping to open any of your hand traps, which is just nice. Then I'm running the ratio of 1 Harpy's Feather Duster and 2 Cyclone for back row removal. Then obviously the Super Poly. Super Poly is funny. What you could do is, if your opponent has stuff on the field and you summon either the Diviner or the Low, you can chain Super Poly and then fusion summon, but also you still get your effects because your opponent can't activate any cards in response to Super Poly. And then summon limit, this is just fun to sit on. It's very funny. So I'm going to show you a test hand showing you how this deck performs. So that's already a nice hand, so we're going to go ahead and activate pre-prep, adding the Silence Force, the Ritual spell, and then the Seravis. Then you're going to special summon the Cashier Fenrir, you sat on Fenrir. So then, if you wanted to, you can bait the Ash out of Fenrir. It's also a Ritual bait. And then you're going to proceed to summoning the Diviner of the Herald, thus triggering her effect, sending the Trias to the grave. At this point, most people will try and negate it with either Effect Veiler or an Imperm. So you have a Seravis. So you send Trias to the grave. Not Trias to the grave, sorry. Send Tribute to Diviner, bringing back the Trias from the grave, and then triggering the Diviner. And then Diviner will special summon out the Low. Low effect will trigger, which will place your barrier of the Voiceless Voice. What you'll do here, you'll be adding the Seravis Dragon Sage in this scenario. You send the Saphira to the grave, dumping another ritual, so you can add the Skull Guardian, and then you're going to go ahead and use the Saphira and targeting the Skull Guardian, sending Low, bringing Ritual Summoning this. So you're going to activate Skull Guardian first, followed by Novox, and then you'll kind of chain blocked the Skull Guardian. So with Skull Guardian, you're going to bring out Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph. So you're going to play this. You're going to special summon the Odd Eyes. You're going to then send the Trius. So then you got the negate. You got the spell negate. You got the Omni negate, and then you got the banish effect. So what you're going to do here is now actually send the ritual spell and the pre-prep to grave, back to your deck, and then special summoning out the Fenrir. So then from here you can now go into Dynamondo. Normally you would, yeah, but so then you end phase, and on the draw phase you can use Dynamon's effect, bringing out the Skull Guardian, and then the lower trigger in the grave, special summoning itself, and then from there you can just place the trap on the field. And then more or less unless your opponent is really highly skilled, depending on the deck, most of the time they can't really deal with this. The game I played, which I'm about to show you guys, I never actually drew into the Fenrir, so I never actually had the opportunity to showcase the Fenrir in a playing scenario. So that's a full combo replay just from a diviner personally. So let's go back and see the replay. So it was so load replay. So we're going to pause. So my opponent summons the Ariana. I ash it, and then for some reason they able to play. Let's just play it out. So my opponent's forced to set some cards. I play this, forcing them to activate the back rows. So that's out of the way. Then I activate the barrier, adding the low. I get drawled. Unfortunate. So my opponent keeps bouncing my trap for some reason. So I don't know why my opponent attacked my face down monster personally. So this is where it starts getting pretty nice. So I'm going to bring back the diviner. If you look there, I'm sitting on Seravis for a while, just long enough until my opponent realizes I'm like. So there we are. Some of this. So this is funny. I keep trying to activate this. They keep bouncing it back. I don't know why. I bring this back and then play another barrier. I negate that. My opponent then realizes because of the barrier, you can only attack into Skull Guardian. So my opponent tries to imperm the Trius, so that's why I negated that first. So I know they got an imperm there. This is where they start losing. They're going to lose now. So they're now facing down two Skull Guardians. There's the Seralis. They tried to stop me there. I removed their last monster. It's like a Hail Mary. So that's the deck profile. If you have any more suggestions for this deck, please leave a comment below. And if you liked this content and would like to see more, please like and subscribe to this video. And I'll hope to bring out more deck profiles in the future. I've been Son Goku, and signing off.